That was the skit. You just saw it. What did you learn from the skit, boys and girls? Can't see. Oh, there you go. So, let's see. Who learned something from this skit? Rachel, what did you learn from this skit? Use our money wisely. You guys like money?
Yes.
Why do you like money? Because it tastes good?
No.
Do you like it because it keeps you warm?
No.
Well, then why do you like it? You can't eat it. You can't wear it. Why is it fun? Why do you like it? Okay, Kendra. So you can buy stuff. Oh, so you use the money to buy groceries. Okay. All right, quick announcement. Do we have any girls who are in first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, or fifth grade here? All right, that's pretty much all of you are here, right? Okay, have you ever heard of something called pigtails and PJs?
Yes.
All right, this Friday night and this Friday only, right here in the ROC, we're having an activity called Pigtails and PJs. It's for girls and their mothers. All right, and if you can't come with your mother, you can bring your grandmother. That's right. So if you're in the first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, or fifth grade, this Friday night at 6 o'clock, you got to be here because it's called Pigtails and PJs. What else would you want? I mean, you get to wear your pajamas to church. That's one thing. You get to have pigtails. I think you're going to do like toenail painting, fingernail painting. And that's why I'm not going to be here because they let you paint everything. That's right. No boys allowed. Only girls. I'm not going to be here. No. Can you bring your dog? Is it a girl dog or a boy dog? No, you can't bring your dog. You definitely can't bring it if it's a boy dog. Okay, all right. No dogs. Just yourself and your mother, or your grandmother if your mother can't come. Yes. Yes. Yeah, somebody who's an adult who you bring you that's a woman that's related to you. Okay, good. So you'll be there. All right. Now listen very carefully. Listen very carefully. You have to sign up downstairs. Downstairs is the sign-up sheet. So you have to sign up yourself and your mother. Food is going to be provided. There's a minimal cost per family, and all that information is downstairs. Yes, but we're going to take care of it. All right. So you bring the money, we'll take care of the food. Yes, ma'am. You don't know how to? Okay, your mom will help you do that. How about that? All right, so boys and girls, today we're talking about using money wisely and a person named Nicodemus, right? No, wait, that's not right. Moses? No. Abraham? Did you say Noah? Oh, Joey. Oh, Joseph. Okay. So Joseph, is he in, let's see, what book of the Bible is he in? Is he in Matthew? Actually, he is in Matthew. That's Jesus' father, right? Let's see. Is the story of Joseph in Malachi? No. What about, let's see, Revelation? No. Find in Revelation? No. Matthew, I heard it starts with a G. Oh, Genesis. All right. Okay, so who remembers what happened with Joseph? He was obedient to his mommy and daddy. Okay. So what made Joseph different from his 11 brothers? Who remembers? All right, well, in the very back, Alicia. He respected his mother and his father. He honored his father and his mother. Good. Which means that Joseph had connected with whom? God. What about his brothers? No. Not so much, right? All right, they needed some help. Well, Joseph, being good, he wanted to help his brothers connect with God. And so he told his brothers about his dream and about what God wanted to do. And how did his brothers respond? What did they say? Oh, thank you, Joseph. That was a great thing to do. We love you so much. Oh, they got mad. How mad did they get? So mad that they wanted to do what?
Kill him.
Yeah. They wanted to kill him. That's right. But instead of killing him, they said, you know what? If we kill him, we can't do anything. You know, he's just dead. But if we sell him as a slave, then we have some money. So they sold him as a slave, and then they went back and they lied to their dad and said, oh, a wild animal killed Joseph. We don't know where he is. He's dead. This is his coat. That's all he has left. And so they were not being good at all. Joseph ends up in prison, before prison, he ends up as a slave in the country of Canada, right? No, wait, that's not. Mexico? China? Oh, England.
No, Egypt.
Oh, Egypt. Okay, and he was in somebody's house. What was his name? Potiphar, that's right. And so, what did Joseph do in Potiphar's house? Was he good or was he bad? So he got away from his mommy and daddy, and then he was bad, right? He didn't obey God anymore, right? Wait, no, that's not right. That's not right. He still obeyed God. That's right. And he tried to help Potiphar connect with God and Potiphar's whole house. What happened? Joseph went from Potiphar's house to prison. How did that happen? Did Joseph steal something from Potiphar's house? Is that why he went to prison? Oh, Mrs. Potiphar wanted Joseph to be her man, but she was already married to Potiphar. So is that right?
No.
So what did Joseph do? He ran away. That's right. And she grabbed his coat when he was running away. And what happened? Then she lied to her husband. That's right. And where did Joseph end up? And everybody forgot about Joseph, right? His family forgot about him. Potiphar forgot about him. God forgot about him. Everybody forgot about him. Oh, that's right. God didn't forget about him. God remembered him. And God, how do we know that God remembered Joseph?
Because he can see him above.
In the back. I can't always see you very well. Yes.
God gave him visions.
Okay, so God continued. Yeah, God continued to communicate with Joseph. Good. And did Joseph continue to communicate with God? Yes, he prayed to God. And did Joseph begin to serve the people around him?
Yeah.
How do we know that?
Because he's in the Bible.
His attitude, good, it's in the Bible, but tell me how we know.
He's faithful.
When the cupbearer and the baker came to prison, who did they look for help? Joseph. Why did they look to Joseph? What was he already doing?
Helping people. Giving people the answers to their questions.
He was already helping people. Good. And so they had a dream. They were afraid. They were confused. They didn't know what to do. And so they went to Joseph and they said, Joseph, please help us. And what did Joseph say? He said, oh, I'm glad you came to me because I'm the smartest person in the world. And I know everything. And let me just tell you. That's right. He said, you know what? I don't know the answers to everything, but I know God. So what did Joseph start doing with those guys? Remember, Joseph connected with God. He's serving the people. And Joseph is trying to connect those people with God as well. That's right. So God gave him the answer. And what did Joseph say? All right, Mr. Cupbearer, when you get out of this place, I only have one thing I want you to do. And what was that? Please don't forget about me. And what did the cupbearer say? All right, I'll tell Pharaoh as soon as I get up. And as soon as he got out, around to see the boss, and then he would make a noise, and everybody knew what to do. They would all jump up, and they would start, working hard. They would grab some water and throw it on their face like they were. And when the boss came, they were, we're working so hard. Is that right? No, that's not right. Yes. Yeah, well, that's if you get in trouble, that's right. Okay, so whatever we do when we work, how do we work? With all of our heart, because someone's watching us, right? Because God is watching us. That's right, even if nobody else is around. So we work hard so that we can please God. All right, did you know that God is in control of everything? What do you see in the picture there? Somebody has the world in the palm. Now, can you hold the world in your hands? No, your hands aren't big enough. Can I hold the world in my hands? My hands aren't big enough either. But God can. That's right. He can hold the world. Did you know that He's in control? Now just imagine Joseph. Remember, when Joseph was a young man, about 16, 17 years old, God started speaking to Joseph and telling Joseph about things that were going to happen into the future. And one of the things that He said is that your brothers and your mother and father are all going to come and bow down to you. And so Joseph remembered that. But he went from his house to being a prisoner, to being a slave in Egypt. So he doesn't even see his mom and his dad. He doesn't even see his brothers and his sisters. So, do you think God forgot about His plan? Not yet. Sure didn't. What about Joseph? Do you think he may have thought, you know what, maybe God forgot. How are my brothers going to come and bow down to me? How are my mother and father going to come to bow down to me if they're all the way over there and I'm over here? Well, then he ends up in prison. Now, in prison, do you have very many people bowing down to you? Now, usually you're the one who's having to bow down to other people, right? Well, he's in prison now, and he's probably thinking, you know, Lord, I remember you talked to me all those years ago, but I still don't know how. But God is in control. So who had the dream while Joseph was in prison? You guys remember? Well, while he was in prison. The cupbearer, that's right. Joseph told him the dream.
And the bread maker.
That's right. So Joseph went to God and said, God, please give me the answer. I don't know the answer. You know the answer. He told the cupbearer, I don't know the answer, but God does. So the cupbearer gets out. The cupbearer gets out, and he forgets about Joseph. But who remembered Joseph while he was there? Sasha.
God.
God remembered Joseph. That's right. So Joseph is still in prison. Yeah, you can tell me at the end. Joseph is still in prison. By the way, you have your Bibles?
Yes.
All right. Get those Bibles out.
That's why I got my
Good. And you said the story of Joseph is in what chapter of the Bible? In what book of the Bible? Genesis. All right.
Genesis.
So I want you to open to Genesis chapter 41. Genesis 41, starting in verse 1. So Genesis chapter 41. This is where we find the story of Joseph. Well, Joseph doesn't have a dream here, but somebody does. Who knows who has a dream this time? Pharaoh has a dream. That's right. Pharaoh has a dream. And Pharaoh gets really, really mad because Pharaoh... You found it? Raise your hand once you find Genesis 41. Once you find it, raise your hand. Genesis chapter 41.
Wait,
4:1. Genesis 4:1. 41. Not 40, not 42, 41. You got it? Okay, put your hands down. All right. So Pharaoh, he pays all of these guys, these wise men, lots of money to give him advice. And so he has a dream, and he doesn't know the answer to the dream. And so he goes to all of his wise men, who he pays lots of money, to give him good advice. And you know what their answer is? We don't know. So how would you feel if you paid people money to give you advice, and you go and say, okay, I need some advice, and they say, we don't know. Would you want to give them more money? No. How would you feel? Would you be upset? Would you be mad? Would you be angry? All right. Well, he was very angry. In fact, he was so angry, he was ready to put all of them to death. And you know what happened? The cupbearer was scared. He was afraid that he was going to die. And you know what he did? He went to Pharaoh and he said, Pharaoh, I remember this guy in prison who's pretty wise, and I think he may have the answer for you. Who's that guy in prison? Joseph. That's right. So the cupbearer remembers Joseph. It took him 2 years, but he finally remembered. That's kind of like me with my keys. It takes me a while, but I finally find them. Right? I finally remember where I put them. Well, not 2 years, hopefully. But in this case, it took 2 years. And the cupbearer finally remembered. Now, who is in control of all of this? So who's the one who took Joseph from his father's house, brought him to Egypt, put him in prison, and now has him in this place? God is the one who's been in control of all of this. He let it happen. So his brothers were doing something bad, but what was God doing behind the scenes, behind the curtains? He was taking the bad and turning it into what? Into good. That's right. So Joseph, God remembers Joseph. God never forgot about Joseph. The cupbearer remembers Joseph. And now Pharaoh says, bring that person to me. Now remember Joseph, what he does. When he was in his father's household, he connected with God. And immediately what did he start doing? Trying to connect his brothers with God. He even tried to connect his mom and dad with God. That's right. Well, he got in trouble. When he got to Potiphar's house, what did Joseph start trying to do? He tried to do the same thing. He tried to serve the people, help them so that he could connect with him and help them connect with God. Well, it got him in trouble again. He got put in prison. And while he was in prison, what did he do? He connected with the head jailer. He connected with the cupbearer. He connected with the baker. He connected with all of the prisoners. Why? Because he wanted them to connect with him, with God. All right, so now he has his chance to stand before Pharaoh, the king, like the president of the whole place. What do you think he's going to try to do? That's right, he's going to do the same thing. So at all times, Joseph works the same way, just like Moses did. So as soon as Joseph hears the dream from Pharaoh, do you know what he says? Pharaoh, I don't know the answer to this dream, but I know who does know the answer. And what does he say? God knows the answer. That's right. So Joseph helps Pharaoh try to connect with God. Not only that, Joseph helps Pharaoh Because all of Pharaoh's advisors, the guys he paid lots of money to, they couldn't give him any advice. They didn't know what to say. And you know what Joseph does? Do you think Joseph said, oh, if you give me some money, I'll give you some advice? You think he does that? No, he doesn't. He wants to help Pharaoh. And he gives Pharaoh advice. And you know what Pharaoh does? He honors Joseph. He realizes something's different about Joseph. He knows who God is. And he has a great plan here. So I'm going to take Joseph and take him out of prison, and I'm going to put him at the head of the whole country. So you have Pharaoh who's in charge, and you know what Pharaoh did? He said, okay, I have the name Pharaoh, but I'm giving you all the power, Joseph. So Joseph was in charge of the whole country. Does that sound like anything else that happened to Joseph? When he got into Potiphar's house, you remember what Potiphar did? The only thing Potiphar had to worry about was eating and drinking and sleeping. That's right. Joseph did everything else. So the exact same thing happens again here. So what's God been doing the whole time with Joseph? That's right. And he's been preparing Joseph to be ready for this position so that Joseph could lead everybody. Good. Now, think about if you were in Joseph's place. You'd worked so hard. For 10 years, you had been a slave and in prison. And you had to do a lot of hard work. In Potiphar's house, he took care of all of the household. In prison, he took care of all of the prison. The head jailer didn't do anything. Joseph was the one. So Joseph was a very hard worker. Now just imagine, he gets put in a place of power and being controlled. What do you think the first thing that he would want to do would be? After you work, parents maybe, after you work for a long year, and it's been hard, and it's been difficult, what are you usually thinking about come summertime? A vacation, that's right. You want to get away, kick your feet up, relax, sit on the beach, wherever you want to go, fish, and relax. So do you think Joseph was thinking about that? No. I bet. He may have thought about that, but is that what Joseph did? No, he immediately went to work. The first thing that he did was just like when he was in his father's household. In his father's household, he was a hard worker. Remember, his dad sent him to go find the brothers. And he goes to where the brothers were supposed to be. Were they there? No. What did Joseph do? He started asking around, trying to find out where are they. He walked a long way to find where they were and then bring them back home. When he got to Potiphar's household, what did he do? Was he lazy? No, he was a hard worker. He went to work right away. Very good. When he was in jail, what happened? Was he lazy? Just sitting around doing nothing all day? He went to work right away. So what do you think he did with Pharaoh when he got put in this high position? He went to work right away. That's right. The first thing he did was he surveyed the land. He went all throughout the land of Egypt. Now, in his position, he could have sent other people to do that. He could have said, hey, you go do that, and you go do that, and you go do that, because I'm the boss and I'm in control there. But you know what he did? He did it. He worked hard, and walked all around the land to see what was going on. You know why he did that? Do you remember the dream that God gave to Pharaoh? He said, for 7 years, you're going to have an abundance of crops, and of food, and of animals, and everything's going to be great. And then after those 7 years, you're going to have 7 years of what? Famine. That's right. You're going to run out of food, you're going to run out of animals, no rain. It's going to be really, really, really difficult. So it would be easy to sit back and say, for those 7 years, we're going to have a really good time and enjoy ourselves, because then the bad time is coming. Enjoy the day that we have. Joseph didn't do that. He surveyed the entire land, and he said, here's what we need to do. We need to gather food together and store it during those 7 good years. And you know what? He didn't store it all in one place. He went to all of the cities, and he worked with the people who were there. He worked as part of a team. That's right, which is very important. And so he stored food in each of the cities. Why was he doing that? Who was he thinking about? God and the people. Who's going to eat the food? The people. That's right. So he's thinking about them, not just himself. Very good. So we see the same thing happening with Joseph. He helped. And now, after the 7 years and they collected all the food, then the bad time came. And in the middle of the bad time, guess what happened with the food? It started running out. And you know what? People started coming from all over, not just in Egypt, but from all over, including some of his brothers. That's right. And how did Joseph treat them when they came? Oh, you're not our people here. We don't need you here. Go find your own food. Is that what he did? No. What did he do? He shared it. He helped them. That's right. Remember Joseph, what he likes to do? He connected with God. He started doing what with people?
Connecting with others.
He started loving people, serving them, and connecting with them so that he could connect them with who? With God. Very good. And he ends up helping all of the people all over the earth. Now, one thing hasn't happened yet. His brothers haven't bowed down to him, and his mom and dad haven't bowed down to him. Do you think that's going to happen? Is he in a position where they can bow down to him now? Yes, he's number one in the land other than Pharaoh. And people from all over the earth are coming to him to beg for food. And so God has put him in the place where he's doing exactly what he said. Okay, here are a few questions I have for you. Do other people see that you have connected with God because you work hard? Did you see what Joseph did? When he was at home, he worked hard. Potiphar's house, he worked hard. In jail, he worked hard. Now that he's number one and number two in Egypt, what does he do? So who noticed that he was a hard worker? God did. Who else? The people around him did. That's right. Potiphar realized he worked hard. The jailer realized he worked hard. Even Pharaoh realized that he worked hard. So my question is, do other people see you like that? Do they see you working hard? Because when we connect with God, God motivates us to do what? To work hard. Why? So that we can do what for other people? So that we can help them. That's right. And help them connect with God. Do you plan things out and work according to your plan? Did you see what Joseph did? First thing he did was he surveyed all of the land. He was making a plan on what he was going to do. And then after he did that, what did he do? For those 7 years, he worked exactly like he planned it out. Step by step. Do you know that God, before he created anything, he planned out everything? Did you know that? Before he created heaven, before he created earth, before he created man, before he created the animal, before he created anything, he planned the entire thing out. And you know what he's doing now? He's working according to the plan. So we see that in Joseph. That's how we know Joseph connected with God. Good. Do you seek to work with others? Do you like to work with others, or do you like to do everything by yourself? Let's be honest. Do you like to work with others, or do you like to do everything by yourself? I hope so. What? Yeah. Usually, why do we like to work by ourselves? Because when it's time to get credit and get praised, if I've done it all by myself, who gets all of the praise and the glory? I do. But what about when I work as a team? When it's time to get the credit and the praise and the glory, who gets the glory? The whole team. So which one do you think we like more, working as a team or by ourselves? Well, we should work as a team, but usually we like to work by ourselves because we get all the credit. Was Joseph like that? No, he worked with others. He always worked with others. All right, and the last one. Do you work hard so that you can help others and help them connect with God? Good. And you help that person? Very good. God wants us all to be like that, boys and girls. If we connected with God, he wants us to work hard and work because he's watching us, not because somebody else is watching us, so that we can serve others and help them connect with God. Next time, boys and girls, we have a really important lesson. You want to know what it is? Yeah. You got to come and find out. I'm going to tell you right now. We're going to learn how to forgive others. Has anybody ever done something that just made you so mad and you thought, why did you do that? Has that ever happened to you? All right. All right. Well, it's good to forgive. But you know, there are a lot of people who they can't forgive. They say, I will never, ever, ever forgive that person. Well, when we've connected with God, what has God done for us? He's forgiven us. And if he's forgiven us, what should we do for others around us? Forgive them as well. So we're going to talk about that next week. How Joseph learned how to forgive. Does Joseph have anybody to forgive? Who does he need to forgive? Who specifically?
The cupbearer.
The cupbearer, that's right. The cupbearer, because the cupbearer promised. And what happened? The cupbearer forgot about it. Who else? He needs to forgive his brothers. There's another person he needs to forgive. Himself. Mrs. Potiphar, that's right. His brothers did him wrong. Mrs. Potiphar did him wrong. Who else? The cupbearer. So does Joseph have a lot of people to forgive? All right, let's see how he learns how to forgive next time.